Alright, hello again everyone. I'm going to do a recap video where I'm going to show the contents that I showed in class in the first couple of classes, in particular how to set up Unity, how to set up VR in Unity, and then I'm going to go on to show you the Steam VR tools. So this is the Unity Hub, this app here. If you haven't already got this, download it from the Unity website. You can use this to manage all your different versions of Unity. If you go to installs, you can see all the versions you've installed. I'm going to be working with 2019.3. If you don't have that version, click on Add and get the latest release. It should be 2019.3. You might see the numbers after the 0.3 are slightly different. That shouldn't matter. That's a minor update and the apps will still work. Anything you make in 2019.3 will work in any of the other versions of 2019.3. So I'm going to go to Projects and create a new project using the latest version. Call this VR example. And I'm going to use the 3D template. Now Unity are switching the process for VR from an older system called the legacy system to a new system that uses the resource manager. I'm going to continue to use the older system because it's simpler and it will be compatible with older examples. Okay, so here we are in the empty scene in Unity. I'm going to set the project up for VR. So I go to Edit, Project Settings. Here's the Project Settings window. You can dock this window over on the side if you want, like this. And then I'm going to go to the player. Scroll down, and you'll see here deprecated settings, virtual reality supported. I'm going to turn that on. Now it might take a second to load up some scripts when you click that. Okay. Now, when you first start it, it's got Oculus at the top and then OpenVR. Now we're not going to use the Oculus system, so I'm going to click on Oculus. And then if I expand this, you'll see a minus here. That removes Oculus. We're using Steam VR, so we only need this one, OpenVR. Now, we want our apps to work without VR as well. So if you don't have a VR headset connected at home, you want to be able to work on your app, you click plus and add none. And so putting OpenVR first in the list, like this, means it will first look for a headset. If it finds a VR headset, it'll run in VR. OpenVR is Valve's name for their Steam VR SDK. And then if there is no headset, it'll use none, and it'll run in regular Windows mode. So if I press play now, okay, there it is. There's nothing actually happening in this game, but it's working. Actually, it's starting up Steam VR, but I don't have my headset connected right now, so it says headset not detected. Now I want to show you how to add the first-person controller so that you can navigate your scenes and play them with the mouse and keyboard even if you don't have a VR headset. So we'll go to the Asset Store. If you don't already see that, you can go to Window, Asset Store. Asset Store is where you download additional packages to expand Unity. We're going to search for standard assets. Okay, this one is Unity Technology Standard Assets. It's free, and this includes the first-person controller and lots of other prototyping tools. Okay, this is the Standard Assets store page. You can see I've already downloaded this, so it's got import here. If you haven't downloaded it before, you should see a download button. Also, you will need to sign in to the Unity store so that it tracks your downloads. This is free, but it's a good idea to sign into the store so that you can purchase things and track your downloads. And it'll tell you if there's updates to any apps you've downloaded before. So I'm going to click Import. Now, the Standard Assets package has a lot of things in it, some of which we don't need. For example, the sample scenes, I don't care about that. Any 2D stuff, I don't care about that. So I'm unchecking the checkbox, so I don't need to import that. Okay, let's bring in cameras and characters. We don't want a roller ball. We want this, the first person character. We don't need the third person character. Okay, so we've got the first person character. We'll need to keep the input. We'll need to keep the editor stuff. I'm not sure if we need the effects. Let's turn that off. I don't think we need the environment stuff either. Let's turn that off. Fonts, particles. So all these are extra things I suspect we don't need. If it turns out that we do need some of these, we can always re-import them later. We'll keep utility. I expect it uses the utility scripts for the first person controller. Don't need the vehicles. Okay, so I have included the cameras, the character, first person character, cross-platform input, editor, and utility. Those are the things I'm going to import. I click import. Okay, so now that it has imported that, we should see it in the project folder. I'm going to move the project folder over here so that we get a better view. Close the console. Middle click with the mouse wheel is to close the console. Let's go to the scene view, open the inspector, and you'll see now, in addition to my scene, I've got the standard assets listed here in the project window. If I expand that, you'll see characters, and here's the first person character. What I want to do is go into prefabs. Prefab is a pre-made character, and here we have the first FPS controller. The rigid body FPS controller is for games where you want the character to have physics, and the standard FPS controller is a bit simpler. So if I put the FPS controller in the scene, we'll see, there it is. It looks like a little capsule with a camera attached. So I'm going to disable the main camera that was already in the scene. I'm going to turn that off because this comes with its own camera. This first person character is a camera. I'll move this up a little bit. And we'll need a ground to walk on, otherwise the character will simply fall through the floor. So let's go to Game Object, 3D Plane. Put this on 0, 0. Okay, let's click play. Now, there's an error. Okay, I'm going to click on this red error message to see what the error is. It says OpenVR error, OpenVR failed. That's okay because I don't have the headset connected, so that's to be expected. Next one says standard assets utility force reset. It's an obsolete code. And in this one, simple activator is also an old code. So what's happening here? The standard assets were written a long time ago. Unity has been updated many times since then. And so some of this old code no longer works with the new version of Unity. So I'm going to find these scripts and delete them and take them out of the project. So this says standard assets utility force reset. So let's go there. Utility force reset. Let's delete that. Yes. And simple activator menu. Let's delete that. Now, for those of you that are new to Unity, you don't have to worry about this. I've already set up this project and put it on the canvas and you can download it. But I want to walk through this to show the game students how you should be prepared for things to break, how you should handle it when you get errors in the console. Let's see what else we have. Here's some more errors. Standard assets, editor, water. And there's a whole load of errors in the water, so let's get rid of it too. Water, let's delete the whole water folder. Delete. Alright, let's check the console again. Clear. Let's see if we can play. Yep, we've got footstep sounds. It walks around. I can look with the mouse. I can walk with the WASD keys. So that means you'll be able to play your game with your computer with no VR headset, but if you email me the project and I launch it, because VR is enabled, if I connect my VR headset, it'll work. So I'm going to connect my VR headset now and test this project out. Okay, I've got my VR headset connected. It's a Windows mixed reality headset. So I have the mixed reality portal running, and I have Steam VR running. So now when I go to Unity and play my app, it should look for a VR headset and start to run in VR. And so now you can see as I move the VR headset around, it updates the view automatically. So I don't need to use the mouse and keyboard to navigate. So you can develop your apps for assignment 3 on your own computer with this setup, and I'll be able to play them in VR. If you have access to a VR headset and you want to do this for assignment 1, you're welcome to do that, but you don't have to. You can do the optional essay for assignment 1. Now you can download this scene on the canvas. If you go to Canvas and go to Pages and View All Pages, and then Examples and Prototypes. This VR template zip file is a Unity project exactly like I've showed you how to make right now. So if you're one of the games programming or games design students, I recommend you try and set this up yourself. Fire up Unity, set up VR yourself. If you're new to Unity or you're an exchange student, then you can just download this template. So this will be the basis of your assignment 3 project. You're going to start it in this. If you're interested in still doing a VR project for assignment 1, you can use this. But as I said, you don't have to. You now have an option to write an essay instead. I will be putting up videos of lots of interesting VR games on the canvas so that you can see examples of good and bad VR design. I'm going to show one more step in this, which is incorporating Steam's free VR tools into your app. So Valve provide a whole lot of free tools. Let's search for Steam VR in the Asset Store. There should be one made by Valve. Let's see. Steam VR by Valve Corporation. There it is. Again, this is free. And I've already downloaded it, so I'll see an import button. The first time you try to do this, this button here will say download. Oh, there you go. Okay, so I haven't downloaded it on this computer. So it recognizes that I've previously downloaded it, but I need to download it again. So I click download. See it downloads. And then you need to import it into your project. Okay, now that it's downloaded to my hard disk, I can import it. Okay, that took a long time to import, so I've just skipped ahead to where it's finished. This pops up. This is recommended project settings for Steam VR, so the best thing to do here is just click Accept All. This lets Steam VR configure your Unity project so that all their tools will work properly. Okay, once again, that took ages to import, so I've skipped ahead. When it's finished, it says you made the right choice. Click OK. And I'll just try to restore this. Okay, so what does this give you? If you now go into your project down here, you'll see, let's just get this out of the way. You'll see Steam VR has a folder and Steam VR resources. Let's go to Steam VR interaction system, samples. I believe there's a scene in here. Yeah, here we are. Okay, so the folder is your project, Steam VR interaction system samples. There's a scene called interactions example. Let's take a look at this. Right, so this is a scene full of Valve's interesting VR toys. It has objects that you can pick up and throw. It has special controllers, menu systems, targets. It has all sorts of gears and levers and interactive objects, which they provide for free. Now, you can assemble a scene using these, and I'll be able to launch it in VR and test it out and play it. If you have access to a VR headset, you'll be able to play it directly in VR. But over the coming weeks, I'm going to make videos showing you how to set up a scene, play test it without VR, so you can use the normal WASD keys to navigate the scene, and then send it to me and I'll play it in VR and give you feedback. And that's the process we'll use for assignment 3. So there'll be more videos coming on how to use this stuff soon. And one last thing, don't forget to get on the class Discord where you can ask me questions about this video and the future videos.